how in the heck did you ever get into comedy?
It's funny. I've been performing for a while. I used to rap. I've done interview and writing covering mixed martial arts. And I had a friend of mine, and then my girlfriend, Jamie, kept saying that, like, you're silly, is like, you should just try stand-up comedy. And I kind of thought about it. And then I was watching Joey Diaz. I listened to Joey Diaz on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about it because I was kind of interested. And he said, you just got to get up there. He said, you got to get that first 5 minutes over with. He's like, just got to go up and suck. So it's it'll be 3 years on March 22nd that I went up and I did my first 5 minutes at JJ's Bohemia here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I want to thank Ryan Darling for and Ben Dalby for being the first guys that put me on stage. Dave Hanna is the host right now. It's called the comedy the open mic is called Free Kittens. So it's a real cool thing. Every Wednesday at 9 here in Chattanooga, that's where I went on stage. And just being able to be connected with a really good comedy scene here in Chattanooga and a lot of helpful people in Atlanta and a lot of opportunities. I was able to kind of get the ball rolling. I was had some free time. My kids are getting older and, just went after it.
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was born in the 80s, and see, back in the 80s, they didn't have the law where it was a felony to be born in. So I don't have that. I don't have that felony right now. Now I heard now you be born in Atlanta, you automatically is a convicted felon. So what I'm saying?
What year were you born?
I'm born in 1980. I'm an 80s baby. I'm actually right on the bubble. So yeah, I'm born in the 80s. I grew up in a full household, my mom and my dad. I was the youngest. I had 2 older sisters. I was the baby child. And I had a religious family, we used to get up, go to be at church at 8 o'clock, even though service didn't start till 11, so we get them 2 extra hours.
Dr. Oz said that if a couple has sex 4 times a week or more, it extends their lifespan. It's like an exercise. It really helps them.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. She's trying to kill me off.
Well, after not having it for a long time, that's what it feels like. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey,
that's what it feels like. So
I got to check and see if she's gotten life insurance on me yet or not.
Yeah, check it, because they I'm gonna tell you, the women are slick now. They know. They probably done the research. They probably figured out, well, if I don't give them this much and this might hurt his heart rate, and I got this policy, yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. So you gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. They smarter than us. All they do is think. That's all women do is think all day. They think all day long. Like, that's all they do is think. They'll think of stuff you never thought. Like, where do you get that from? Then women, they create scenarios in their head and get mad, and they walk around the house, man, you're like, what you mad at? Nothing. But they mad because it's some scenario that they either created in their head or they dreamt about. And a woman can go to sleep at night and dream that you cheated on them and be mad at you because of the dream.
So, Eric.
Yes.
Let me hear your story. I want to know where you were born and raised, all the good things you used to do as a kid, all the fun stuff.
Okay. I can do that.
Give me a history.
I can do that. All right, let me start off like this. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on a playground is where I spend most of my days. I'm dead serious. The Fresh Prince stole my story. I don't care what they say, Kyle. He stole my story. Will Smith, I grew up with him, and Jazzy Jeff. He got mad at me because I was dating Yvette. Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette. Yeah, I was dating her. He got mad, stole my story. Because I moved to LA. I didn't live in, where was he at?
Beverly Hills.
I lived in Inglewood. I don't know where he lived at. He lived in somewhere else. But I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. And one day I was chilling out by the pool, and then somebody got into a fight. My mom said, oh, no, you leaving. And then I went to California. I bullshit you not. True story. Will Smith stole my life, made a movie of it. Will, you owe me money. Will, if you're listening right now, you know I know you. And if you don't answer my phone calls, you're going to have a September the size of August in your life. I'm only fucking with you. I'm only joshing. Why do people say that? Why do people say I'm only joshing? Who the fuck is Josh that only does shit like that? Josh, you need to stop doing this shit because they're giving you a bad name. All right, then, where I'm from. I'm from Philadelphia, all right? I was born and raised on the Blake Rounders where I spent most of my days. I already been through this. I told y'all that twice. So if you don't remember where I say I'm from, you weren't paying attention. Okay. All right. I am the youngest of 5 children. My mom and my dad, they were very quiet in the room when we weren't awake. But when we went to sleep, they made a whole lot of noise. If you understand what I'm saying. I'm just bullshitting. But I'm from Philadelphia. I went to Emmanuel Lutheran private school. I grew up in a great neighborhood until it went and got ungreat. So we all have dealt with that. But I'm a father of 5 wonderful, intelligent, following my footsteps. I'm not piling this on too thick. They wanted to be like their dad.
It's good.
Their dad was the truth. Their dad is the truth. I've lived a life thus far that most people would be envy of. Yes, I'm a black man with a good credit score. I'm just fucking with you.
I got to let the people know that you're worth going to check out. So
okay, I will do. Well, I don't really do one-liners, but I will do one. And this is nice and this is pretty clean. Okay. It's clean because that's what I do. I'm a clean comic. So this guy, he's a retired guy, and he plays golf every Tuesday with a bunch of his buddies. And he gets up one Tuesday morning and he sneaks out, and he leaves his wife sleeping. She's kind of curled up in a ball facing the wall, and he doesn't want to, wake her, so he sneaks out and realizes it's just pouring rain. And but he thinks, maybe it'll clear up. So he starts driving to the course, and he's like, after 10 minutes, he's like, this is ridiculous. It ain't gonna stop. It's set him for the day. So he turns around, goes back upstairs. His wife is exactly where he left her, just curled up in a ball facing the wall. So he very quietly takes off all his clothes, and he gets in bed next to her, and he snuggles up to her, and he whispers in her ear, he says, it is a cold, wet, nasty kind of morning. And she giggles a little bit, and she goes, I know. Do you believe that idiot's out playing golf?
So it's like 2 jokes I always say. If I said, oh shit, I know I forgot something. But so it's 2 jokes I can say while I'm thinking, what didn't I say today? What didn't I say tonight? What I'm missing? And I'll tell these 2 jokes while I'm waiting for something else to pop in my head.
Oh my gosh. Can you share something with us?
One joke. So one of my most, it could be anything.
Anything.
Okay, so
clean, dirty, it don't matter.
Okay, so one joke I have, and I can go places, and somebody say, "Oh my God, I know you. I seen you. You the freeway girl." They call me the 91 freeway girl. One of the freeways out here. I got a joke where I say, "Ladies, you have to give out directions. You have to let a man know what you like, because he gonna get his. So you got to make sure you get yours. But if you're afraid to give out directions, you just put a map on your body like I did, and you're gonna have him start right up here at the 91. He's gonna take it to the 605, all the way down to the 405 and exit Cherry so I can get off." Oh.
Like, hey man, you got a great personality. I think you're funny. Why don't you come do open mic? Blah blah blah. Give you a couple minutes. Got on stage. I enjoyed the adrenaline. I wasn't good. I actually sucked. The first time on stage, I sucked. I was like, oh my God. But I liked the attention I was getting. I was like, I like the attention, but I suck.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I like the attention. Let me figure out how to mold myself into a better comic. So I met a couple guys. Like I said, when I got into it, I was doing comedy, producing shows, and managing comedians. So I went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I went to an open mic. Well, yeah, I went to open mic, a comedy show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Saw some comics, and this one guy stood out from me. He was just wild, all over the place. His name was Jamil Peterson, a good friend of mine. He would grab the mic, hump the wall, hump the stage, tell jokes, tie his shirt up around his nipples. I was like, this dude is off the chain. Like, who is this guy? I was like, I never seen him before. Like, you know, you watch Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, guys like that, but they don't do stuff like this. I'm like, this guy is off the chain. And I was like, can you really do this on stage? So I was like, I can do this. I mean, I know how to dance. I can do this. So when I started comedy, I created a character called the Playboy. So when I performed on stage as the Playboy, I would dress up in a whole Playboy attire. Playboy robe, Playboy pajamas, Playboy slippers, you know, everything. Kago hat, all that on stage. Come out on stage, you know, dance with the ladies. You know, of course you gotta get the ladies involved. Dance with the ladies, tell them what they want to hear, tell them a couple jokes. And then of course, man, once I get you, you're done. That's my thing. When I come on stage, I want to make sure I grab your attention. Once I got you, that's it for me. I got you. So I created a character, man. I did that for a couple years. I did a couple shows, which not too many comedians have done. I've done a lot of exotic comedy shows, which you like, how does that work?
Yeah, please. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, so I mixed in dancers, well, strippers, and comedy all on one damn stage. Like, how do you do that? Well, since I'm the Playboy, I had to figure out how to make it work. So, did a couple shows, of course. I'm married at the time, so my wife found out. So I'm like, what the fuck you doing? Like, well, look, this is my stage name. They want me to be the Playboy on stage as a comedian. So that didn't work out too long. I did a couple shows. They didn't last too long. And now I'm here, man. I'm here. I have now changed my character from the Playboy to Dr. Giggles. So now I'm actually a doctor because I'm going to school to become a doctor. So I'm using comedy in my skit as a doctor. I'm dressing up as a doctor and telling jokes.
You may like like urban comedy, but you may not like female comics. Maybe you don't like hipster sort of alt comedy, or maybe you don't like physical comedy. Maybe you don't like impressions. Maybe you like more of the Louis C.K. types, or maybe you like the Dave Chappelle types. There's so many different kinds. Why should we level the playing field and say, no, comedy should be this, and it should be palatable for everybody. Everybody should be able to enjoy it. All the families, all ages, all backgrounds. Well, not all backgrounds like Tool, not all backgrounds like hip hop music, but we seem to be okay with that. Well, comedy should be looked at like music in that way, I think. And give it a break, man. It's not everybody's for everybody. If you don't like horror movies, you don't go to the horror movie. You don't go to the horror movie and then walk down to the front desk and go, "You better take that horror movie out of that theater." I was offended. Which was what happens sometimes to comedians in comedy, and I don't think that's right. They're all different flavors, man. They're not for everybody. And just because you don't like a flavor doesn't mean you should have it removed from the fucking menu.
Exactly.
That's just how I feel.
Okay, so you like vanilla ice cream, you like chocolate ice cream, you like strawberry ice cream. What difference does it make? I'm not going to have it taken out of the grocery store.
Exactly. You'd be called crazy. You would be called crazy. If you were offended by a movie in a cinema, like it was a horror movie, and you walk down to that front desk, that horror movie was scary. You have to take that down. They would just laugh you out of the damn place. And everybody else would too. We'd all laugh at you. Ha ha, you knew it's rated R, you dipshit. You went in there to see a horror movie. Like, you're now telling us to take it out? Like, no one would allow that behavior. They would call it crazy. But it seems like when it comes to comedy, that's happening. I think it's very problematic, man. And I think it's a barrier to real, true expression. And it can prevent artists from really developing because of fear, I think. And I see my friends deal with it too. And I think some of us are holding back. And I don't think we should hold back, because the world is a crazy fucked up place, and we should all be talking about it. We should talk about it because that's how you heal from it. You know, you talk about it just like anything, just like your bad relationship with your son or your daughter or your dog or your wife. You know, you talk about things. That's how you heal. We got a lot of issues in this culture, man. Culture's falling apart. You know, shit is crazy. You know, a lot of us live in fear. Well, how do you get through that? Well, comedy is very effective. So why shouldn't comedians be able to talk about any damn thing they want? We are going to help the culture heal, and help the culture deal with some of the craziness that we witness on a day-to-day basis. My God, watch mainstream news. Don't you feel like you're living in some sort of nightmare that was invented by a mad scientist? I do. And so comedians are one of the only artists that can get on the mic and in real time start talking about these issues and get us all talking about it. And that can heal, and that can help us all work through these problems. And we need it now more than ever, man, because the shit is crazy. And I think comedians need to be allowed to flourish and do whatever they want. And let's not be so easily offended. You know, if there's something that you don't like on TV, what do? You change the channel, like a reasonable purpose. You know,
Thank you.
No one, you know, I don't force anybody to listen to my podcast, Weird AF News. And I can't believe how many reviews I got where people are slamming my podcast. And I'm like, man, I didn't make you listen to it. You found it on your own. You know, you decided. And by the way, the shit is free. It's free. You know, the kind of. So we live in a culture where there's a lot of people like that. I think, you know, they would take the time to try and take your little thing that you're doing down because they didn't like it. And by the way, I never spoon fed it to you or made you listen to the damn thing in the first place. So what kind of nut are you to do that to me? I mean, you have issues. You have issues in your life. And those people, unfortunately, also have a keyboard. And so they're out there and they're making some of us feel like shit about what they're doing. And I just can't stand it, man, you know?
Oh, well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited. This was a fucking chore to get everything to work because I'm not that smart. I'll tell you right now, the whole street smart bullshit, it's a real thing. But I appreciate the kind words that you said. But my name, Travis Hunter, my middle name is Troy. That was my father's first name. That's really all he gave me before he left to the gas station long time ago, which has really started all of this because I was raised by my mom who really took on all the roles, and she had a wicked sense of humor, was always somewhat dark and morbid and shed a light on fucked up situations that we would normally be all, you know, really weirded out about or whatever. So I get that, my humor from her. But I've always been able to joke with everything. I was always the kid in school that everybody could, for some fucking reason, come to and be like, I feel like I can tell you everything. And I don't know why people would say that, but if I had $1 for every time I was told that in school, you know, but I was also really cute. So all the girls were like, oh, you're like my little brother. So I never really got laid until I was out of high school. So I never really had to worry about that. So I always focused on entertaining people, making people forget about sad times or depressing times, because we've all felt it as a kid, and I didn't like to live in that type of a moment. So I always reached out to entertainment, movies and music and songs and creating and making people laugh and think or whatever. When I was really, really young, was I like understood that I could recognize when I was helping somebody get out of a bad mood. Plus I'm a Cancer. I was born in June 25th. So, you know, I'm super emotional and I can help people get out of that rut. Even for a moment, I love it and I got addicted to it. So I've always been just sharpening those saws, if you will. Plus I never got bullied. I got bullied a little bit like everybody else, but I was the guy that would get bullied, but I would stick up for myself and I would be funny. And I've never been in an actual fight where I was like, yeah, let's fight each other because that's going to solve it. I would always solve it with my words or my humor. I'd crack a joke and then they'd be like, dude, you're so funny, bro. And they'd move on with their lives because fighting doesn't solve anything. It just makes you look weak. So I developed for so long, we have our insecurities, and then, you know, Facebook and this platform, and I worked in sales forever and developed a whole set of life skills there over the phone. And I'm done, you know, doing things for what we're conditioned to do things for. And I've been spending the last 3 years just really doing what I want to do, which is entertain people and do this for me, more importantly, so that I don't fucking hang myself, but, you know, entertain people and get people out of their, you know, day-to-day bullshit, whether it's laughing at my dumb ass, whether I'm being serious or not, whether I'm, you know, super passionate about what I'm ranting about, or if I'm just fucking ranting about it to piss people off. You know, it's all content, it's all fun, it's all with a grain of salt, and it's for people like you, Kyle, that actually get it, that are like, you know, I don't always fucking agree with everything you say, but at the same time, I can't really argue with it because fuck.
Wow, another great episode. Thank you for joining us. And if you enjoyed, please like, leave us a comment, please subscribe, let everybody know about our channel, and please continue to support us. Catch you on the next one.